До свидания, douchebags.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another video on my thoughts on movies and stuff. Today's video is on Black Widow, the first Marvel movie to come out in a really long time. Natasha Romanoff, also known as the Black Widow, if you didn't know, confronts the darker parts of her ledger when a dangerous conspiracy with ties to her past arises. Pursued by a force that will stop at nothing to bring her down, Natasha has to deal with her history as a spy and the broken relationships left in her wake long before she became an Avenger. Been a while since we've had a good, wordy synopsis. You know, just full of meat yet giving nothing away. Now I know I said that this week's video would be on the Tomorrow War, but then I got access to Black Widow and I asked you guys what would you prefer to see, and Black Widow got the vote hands down. So eat your heart out, the Tomorrow War. And the guys are primed and ready to get into it, but before we let them do that, why don't you go ahead and hit that big red button. That's right, subscribe. We're trying to reach a goal of 1,000 subscribers and we're almost halfway there, so we'd really appreciate it if you subscribed and you shared this with your friends so they can subscribe as well. Don't forget to hit the bell to be notified about every time we upload. And if you'd really like to add some numbers to our ledger, become a bro by becoming a patron. Patrons get early access, behind the scenes content, and all sorts of other perks. So why don't you come on down and let us hold $1. And of course, a major thanks to all our bros on Patreon. Your names will show up at the end. Mwah. All done subscribing? Great. On with the show. Black Widow. I'm actually really upset. Yeah, figures. Not only is this movie like, what, 5 years late, but then it's pieced together like that? What does that even mean? I came here for Black Widow. I wanted Natasha Romanoff. I didn't ask for Black Widow family values. Now I know you're not talking smack about the other characters. I'm not trying to talk smack. I'm just saying it's too much. You're too much. Relax. Just think about it. In this one movie, they've introduced Yelena Belova, Melina Vostokovna, aka the Iron Maiden, the Crimson Dynamo. You mean the Red Guardian? Right, sorry. The Red Guardian, and Taskmaster, who is a woman now. You got a problem with that? Nah, I don't mind. I'm not that attached to Taskmaster as a character. And it's also nice to see Olga Kurylenko in a movie that doesn't waste her skills. Because she kicks ass. There's also the Black Widow network of spies that Melina ran off with. And don't forget that Kevin Feige said you don't have to watch the series in order to understand the continuity of the movies. So it's also the first time we officially get to see Contessa Valentina Allegra de la Fontaine. Just call her Val like a normal person. But do you understand my problem with it now? No, but I'm sure they reduced Black Widow's first and seemingly only film starring Scarlett Johansson as Natasha Romanoff to a springboard for the next phase of Marvel films. That's not true. Really? Look me in the eye and tell me that you ended this movie with less questions than when you started. No. I have a ton of questions I didn't have before. Of course you do. And why? Because this is chapter 1 in book 2 in the good news proclaimed in the gospel of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Stan Lee be with you. And also with you, my child. Alright, you've got some pretty sturdy ground and you throw around some solid points, but there's more to the movie than what you've mentioned. Like what? Well, for starters, the story was so raw. When Natasha sat at the table with her fake nuclear family and they began to break down before they could even start up, man, I was tearing up. Yeah, me too. And all those moments where the dust settles and Natasha has to come to terms with the decisions that she's made, the sacrifices and what she's become. That's when we really get to see the nitty-gritty of her character. And it's the parts of her that we love most. Yeah, that's true. Her guilt for leaving her sister behind, and her guilt for having killed Dreykov's daughter, easily the most poignant parts of the movie. And that opening sequence was very gripping. Girls being torn from their families and ferried in these shipping containers, only to become brainwashed killing machines, their choices stripped of them. Yeah. I'm also glad they left Africa outside the discussion of human trafficking for once. That's true. Hey, look at me. I am your captain now. Do svidaniya, douche. I hear you, my guy. And you're right. The original parts of this movie are very powerful. But the rest of it is just the Marvel Cinematic Universe repeating itself. How do you mean? Two sisters setting aside their differences and choosing to become a family? Nebula and Gamora. Damn, you're right.
You're right.
A mysterious, super dangerous masked character that stops at nothing to complete their mission and whenever on screen is almost guaranteed to blow something up.
Taskmaster?
Nah, the Winter Soldier. Holy smokes, Taskmaster is the new Winter Soldier. And now Yelena is the new Black Widow. Listen, the pieces might look different and have different names, but at the end of the day, this game is still chess.
Maybe there's more to be desired than I previously thought.
I mean, look, it's Disney's Marvel. They're always going to struggle with their morally gray characters. Little girls in shipping containers in an opening sequence is as dark as they're willing to go in their movies.
They're willing to critique the police and the African American experience on TV, but they'll only slap a few wrists on the big screen.
And that's just Disney's Marvel for you. But honestly, that's not even my biggest problem with this film. My biggest problem is probably the Red Room.
What about the Red Room?
Why would they put the Red Room in the sky? Literally live in a world where aliens invade, where S.h.i.e.L.D. operates out of a helicarrier that also goes invisible. How did they not crash into each other?
But I don't know, guys. What do you think? Was Black Widow the standalone movie that Scarlett, Natasha, and even us as Marvel nerds waiting for this movie for almost 5 years deserved? Or did it just not make the cut? I watched this movie with my brother, and he was a lot more upset with it off the bat than I was. I was still very much coming down from the high of it all because it is an enjoyable movie. But as I sat down to write this video and I looked at what some people were saying online, he and a lot of people who felt negatively about the movie make a very strong point. This movie fails to reach its full potential, and Scarlett Johansson as Natasha Romanoff deserves nothing but the best of what Marvel can offer. The movie has these CGI scenes that unfortunately take a little bit away from the physical performances. You can easily tell the difference between the times they actually used an actor in a shot and the times they used the CGI used car salesman Noodle Man put in an actor's place. And I don't think that that's very fair towards the cast and the stunt team. And just because we know Natasha is going to die in Endgame doesn't mean that they have full license to throw her around like a rag doll. I mean, she's not a super soldier, yet somehow they expect me to believe that she can survive being thrown down the side of a building, amongst other things, and that she only walks away with a couple of scrapes and bruises because anything is possible in the power of family. But of course, there are some positives. The acting is brilliant all around. The cast work really well together and they really bring the movie to life. Florence Pugh is easily the best thing about this movie, and I think I might be a diehard fan of her now. And the banter between Yelena and Natasha is so good, I could easily watch that as the whole movie because Scarlett and Florence just had amazing chemistry. Rotten Tomatoes gave this film a critic score of about 80% last I checked. To my knowledge, I think it's still being decided, so it's going up and down. And IMDb gave it a sturdy, plain old 7 out of 10. Not bad. Despite the fact that Marvel kinda fumbled the ball with this one a little bit, I still had a really good time, and I can happily give it a 3.7 out of 5. And I highly suggest to all of my viewers who can't watch this movie in a cinema that once you can watch this movie in a cinema, please do. I think it will really make for a better experience. But that's all from me, guys. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you absolutely hated this video, give it an even bigger thumbs up. As I said before, subscribe and hit the bell to be notified about every time we upload. And after that, visit our Patreon and let us hold $1. And once again, a major thank you to our Patreon bros. Their names are on the screen over here. And just once again, thank you for believing in our content, and you've helped us set a lot of things in motion. Can't thank you enough. The next video is going to be on Loki. Sorry, the Tomorrow War. You're gonna have to wait. Loki came to an end yesterday, so next week's video should be on the Loki series. But either way, by now you know that you can always find me here every Thursday with another video on my thoughts on stuff. Until the next one, take care. Bye-bye.